Westfield's second meeting of March 2024. If I could get everybody to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation by Pastor Jeremiah Gibbs. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you would bow your heads with me in prayer. Lord God, we gather here today as stewards of Westfield with hearts that are filled with gratitude and minds committed to service. As we embark upon the task before us, we seek your guiding light to illuminate the conversation and the paths we choose for our beloved city. We thank you for these first responders who have gathered here to commit their lives to your service. Bless them. Protect them, we pray. And grant us all wisdom to discern what is right and just, courage to face the challenges ahead, and compassion to serve every member of our community with fairness and dignity. May we remember the trust placed in us by all those who have voted for this council and mayor. May they strive to honor that trust with integrity and dedication. May our efforts today and every day contribute to a stronger and more united community where every person is valued. Let all these things be true for your glory and name. Amen.
President Tam, would you please run the meeting this evening?
Thank you, Mayor. This evening, will the clerk treasurer recognize the presence of a quorum?
John Dart.
Yes.
Joe Deppner.
Here.
Noah Herron.
Here.
Chad Huff.
Here.
Victor McCarty.
Here.
Patrick Tam.
Here.
Kurt Wanninger.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. We have the approval of the minutes from March 11th, 2024. If all counselors have had a chance to review them, we need a motion and a second.
Motion to approve?
Second. We have a motion from Councilor McCarty, seconded by Councilor Huff. Any discussion? Seeing none, may we call the roll?
Noah Herron.
Yes.
Chad Huff.
Yes.
Victor McCarty.
Yes.
Patrick Tam.
Yes.
Kurt Wanninger.
Yes.
John Dart.
Yes.
Motion carried. Oh, sorry, Joe Deppner.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. The next item on our agenda, we have the claim docket from March 25th, 2024. We need a motion and a second.
Making a motion to approve the claims. Motion is second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, we have a motion made by Councilor Wanninger, seconded by Councilor Dart. May we call the roll?
Chad Huff.
Yes.
Victor McCarty.
Yes.
Patrick Tam.
Yes.
Kurt Wanninger.
Yes.
John Dart.
Yes.
Joe Deppner.
Yes.
Noah Herron.
Yes.
Claims motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. Director Todd, do we have anyone that wishes to address the council this evening? Seeing none, we actually have the most important piece of our meeting. Mayor Willis, would you like to take over? And
All right, it's a packed house, so I'll try to talk loud here. This is a new tradition that we're starting in Westfield. We've already done it once before. We're going to continue to do it. We want to swear in the men and women who serve our community and put their lives on the line every day for those of us in this community. So I want to make sure we make a big deal of this because it is a big deal. So I'm honored to be able to stand up here and I can swear in the men and women who will be serving us in the future. So let's start with the fire department. Chief Baylor. And I will say, I got to address these young men and women about 3 weeks ago. And they all had smiles on their faces. They were so energetic. It was their first day on the job. And they all look a little more tired now. I don't know. For the fire department, most of you know we're short on firefighters right now. We're short on fire stations. And our men and women in the fire department are running around crazy all day long. I shadowed event maybe 2 years ago, and at the ripe old age of 52, I swore I'd never do that again, because I ran into the dirt. So I really appreciate what these folks do every day. Again, it's total chaos when the minute they come in, so the minute they go home, and we couldn't be the city we are without them. So with that, I'll have each one of you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear. That I will support, uphold, and defend. The Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of Indiana. And I will honestly, faithfully, and impartially. Execute the duties assigned to me. As a firefighter of the city of Westfield, Indiana. To the best of my ability. And always in accordance. With existing law and department general orders. So help me God. Congratulations. Chief, would you like to say a few things? I didn't get one picture, sorry. One more time. Come on, we should be here with me.
I'll get yelled at.
I can stand in front of you all, you can probably still see them, so. I'll come over here. Go ahead, Chief.
The only thing I would like to say is welcome the newest members to our family. We're a week through our group class, and 14 more to go. Thank you, congratulations.
I was gonna have the family come up here and stand with, there's so many of them, I'm afraid we have nobody in the bleachers, so. Next time it's a small group, we'll do that. So we have 2 people here from the police department. If you would come up, and because it's just 2, if you got immediate family members that want to join you, we'd be honored to have you up here. Most of you probably know, or some of you may not, I come from a family of law enforcement. My dad, before he passed, was a retired state trooper. My oldest brother is retired Indianapolis Police Department. My little brother is a state trooper in Illinois. It's what my family does. I was the exception. I chose the Marine Corps instead, but the men in blue, the women in blue are near and dear to my heart. I watched it up close. I watched the stress. I watched the anxiety that comes by literally putting your life on the line every day. And as most of you know, society today doesn't appreciate our police like they used to. So anybody willing to raise their hand and put themselves on the front lines has my utmost respect, as I'm sure it does everybody in this room. So thank you so much for willing to stay in the line, and we're excited to have you in our community. Chief, you want to say, I'll let you say something before I swear in.
Absolutely. Really, we met earlier today, but I'll rehash a little bit of it. It's not easy to get hired in Westfield at all. We are very selective on who we bring to our team and family. What I can say about both of these candidates are they're absolutely exceptional, and they're exceptional to exceptional city. So I look forward to watching them grow and develop over the years, and I know it will be great things for Westfield. Thank you.
All right. Raise your right hand. I state your name. Do solemnly swear. That I will support, uphold, and defend. The Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of Indiana. That I will honestly, faithfully, and impartially. Execute the duties assigned to me. As a law enforcement officer. Of the city of Westfield, Indiana. To the best of my ability. And always in accordance. With existing law and department general orders. do not have to stay for this evening. We'll give you all a few minutes to shuffle out and enjoy the rest of the evening. We appreciate you being here.
Yeah, I think so. And I told him I wanted, no, me and Victor, me and Chad. No, I can't remember who it was.
We'll go ahead and resume with old business this evening. We have ordinance 24-19, which is the Common Council of the City of Westfield, Indiana, authorizing the purchase of a blanket bond and crime insurance policy pursuant to Indiana Code 5-4-1-18. This is a second reading this evening. We do need a motion and a second for consideration. Ms. Glazier presented this at our last meeting. This is effectively a belt and suspenders approach to make sure that we have this in place properly. If there's any questions, obviously, Ms. Glazier is here this evening to answer those for the council as well. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve ordinance 2419.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, may we call the roll? We have a motion by Councilor McCarty, a second by Councilor Huff. May we call the roll, please?
Victor McCarty?
Yes.
Patrick Tam?
Yes.
Kurt Wanninger?
Yes.
John Dart?
Yes.
Joe Deppner?
Yes.
Noah Herron?
Yes.
Chad Huff?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Moving on to new business, we have ordinance 24-112 with the Osborne Trails PUD amendment. This is a first reading this evening. For those in the public or those watching online, you will see on the agenda some anticipated dates. It doesn't necessarily mean they'll meet all those dates, depending upon outcomes of those individual meetings. But this evening, we have Director Todd that will pinch hit, if you will. I'm pretty sure he'll do just fine. But on a brief introduction of this proposal.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. For the record, Kevin Todd, Community Development Department. Item before you this evening is a first reading of a proposed amendment to the Osborne Trails PUD. The amendment is specific to approximately 25 acres as outlined on the screen of real estate located at the northeast corner of 191st Street and Horton Road. Can't get to, well, here we go. Put the concept plan up here. So as it exists today, the entire acreage is part of Area A of the Osborne Trails PUD, which defaults to the local business underlying, or LB, underlying zoning district standards, with some additional requirements as well, but that's the base zoning is LB. The purpose of the amendment is to allow for up to 140 townhomes, which are currently not permitted in an LB zoning district. In addition to the townhome uses, the proposed amendment would seek to further refine and require certain amenities to be centered around the West Fork Whiskey Distillery, including a rack house and a permanent stage. These would be considered amenities to the existing use today, but since they're going through the amendment process anyway, we wanted to further kind of define those and make sure that there's some certain, in case there's some certain restrictions or requirements for those, we wanted to include those in this amendment as well. So the current iteration of the proposed amendment, which will need some additional refining as it goes through the Plan Commission process, does include a concept plan as shown on the screen, additional character exhibits, which I don't know if I can get to them here. Yep, some character exhibits of the townhomes and amenities. So with that, the project, as you mentioned, is scheduled to go to the Plan Commission on April 1st for a public hearing. It would then be subject to a workshop meeting in May and return back to the City Council for adoption consideration at a future date. So with that, that concludes my initial presentation. If there's any questions for staff, I'm happy to try to answer those. Otherwise, I believe there are representatives of the petitioner here in the event you have questions for them.
Great, thank you, Director Todd. I know that Council had a couple comments. Councilor Deppner?
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're questions, a little more comments, maybe concerns. So I understand that there's a survey done. I think, at least my position, I think from the administration, we've got basically the 191st Street corridor is going to be designated for commercial purposes. There's a widening of 191st Street potentially in the works to happen. My concern here, and I'm fine with the residential up north here, it's really anything south of the lake, I think would be more appropriate use for a commercial aspect, which we're showing Block A as commercial. My main concern is this road, Street B, as it connects to 191st Street. I think that's, my concern is twofold. One, we're adding a residential road potentially into a commercial corridor there. I don't know if there's traffic studies or whatnot, but I don't think that's the appropriate road to put there. In addition, Block A, this road significantly cuts off Block A from the other common area on the right. I spoke with economic development as well as some planning today, and I think there's a lot of options that we can work through APC and so forth. We've, in a short period of time, we already came up with some ideas to float to the folks who presented this, potentially making Street B go into the next parcel to the east. There's also the alleyway in terms of fire. We'd obviously want to talk with the department there, but it only having one entrance up to the north on Horton, fire's concern could potentially be alleviated with, there is an alley as long as they can circle through the alley, which it's there already. I just don't see the need to put a curb cut in a residential road on 191st Street. But that's my concern, and we can work through this. There's multiple solutions already kind of being thought of, and we can maybe get there.
Any other comments, Councilor Waniger?
Kevin, kind of similar comments associated with that. For the Block A, I would like, when that comes back to us, we'd like to see better description of what that would be in regards to those land uses. I agree with Councilor Deppner regarding 191st Street with access, but also utilizing more of that frontage for commercial businesses in that area and not splitting that common area with the Block A area. I am fine with the multi-use housing. Again, probably south of the pond, I'd rather see more commercial, and then from the south edge of the pond, northeast would be the multifamily.
Any other comments from any councilors? Do want to thank the owners here with working with our economic development about the commercial aspects. We were happy to bring Ratio Architects, frankly, to the discussion as well. I think a lot of, myself included, on that Block A, some of those additional details, I was hoping to see that in the initial exhibit. At the same time, though, I think in the spirit of working together, we look forward to that process, working through the APC as well. With 191st Street, a lot of the council have repetitively expressed their interest of keeping that and making sure that's a good corridor to grow business as well. So with that, though, we look forward to working through the APC process, and we look forward to seeing it back here. We do not need to take any action on that. It's just a first reading. Any other questions before we close that out? We will move to Clerk Treasurer has some comments this evening.
Just wanted to kind of bring you up to speed on a few things. One is our ask of State Board to come in and be present in April probably isn't going to happen. While I do have emails from them assuring me that they put it on the calendar, in fact, we found out they did not. We're hoping to hear back from them last week about scheduling the 3 audits that we've asked them to do. We have yet to hear back from them. Justin from KSM did follow up. I will follow up myself if we don't hear back from them. That could cause a slight delay in where we are with the ACFR. The folks from the Asset Control Solutions did send us a pretty big list of things that they needed some original prices for on buildings. So we're going to be working together, and in fact, following the Finance Committee meeting today, John Rogers and I committed to working together to try and get some of those answers and original values and dollar amounts where we can, but they are moving forward, so that's great. Kim and I attended the Indiana League of Municipal Clerks and Treasurers Institute and Academy last week in Plainfield. I had never been to Plainfield in my most recent 25 years of living in Indiana. They have quite a nice little city with a lot of warehousing and hotels. Nice to visit, great to get home. But did want to tell you that while we were gone, both Carrie and Misha took the class to get their certification as certified public investment finance managers. They both passed that, so I'm super proud of them, and hope that they can get some of the accolades they should receive from the community also, because it's quite an achievement, very difficult test to pass, and not everyone has that. And finally, we did have our first Finance Committee meeting today. For those maybe in the community that don't quite understand government finance, there's a PowerPoint presentation on there with some notes you can read and understand things a little bit better, but just wanted to bring you guys up to speed on what we've been doing. So thanks for your time.
Thank you. Any city council comments this evening?
I'll go
Councilor
ahead and
McCarty.
do the APC update. At our last meeting on the consent agenda, we had Phase 2, the extension of the WWS Early Learning Center with some additional turf fields up there as well. And then our 2 workshop items were Ravinia and Winterberg, which we'll be seeing both back at our April 1st meeting.
Thank you. Any other comments? Do want to make sure the public's aware our next city council meeting has been moved due to evidently a big deal on April 8th to April 9th. It will be at 7 p.m. At the City Services Building, 7 p.m. at City Services, just moving to Tuesday. Would encourage you, though, in all due respect, every hotel is generally booked, but for residents to take advantage of the Grand Park event, our city's done a great job with planning a great Eclipse event. I know our public safety folks in the room are probably more than versed in the goings-on out there for that day. Mayor?
I have nothing new to add.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
We need a second.
Second.
We are adjourned. No vote. Never take a vote.
Yeah, the road used to come down, take the road out, and just wrap it over here. And now you have a whole big block A instead of a cut-off one with a road going through it.